grip beginning to go away from the cars on the racetrack. Here comes Hamilton. Just 8 laps to go in this Grand Prix.
0.6 of a second ahead of Vettel. Vettel beginning to push again, and Hamilton's not going to fancy much of that if he starts getting rain streaming off his visor at 190 miles an hour. It always looks like it's raining more than it is. Nick Hamilton out in the pit lane to check it out for himself, and I don't know what he can see, but his brother can see Sebastian Vettel coming at him.
A few spots falling now, on the main straight.
Yeah, but how heavy? Is it going to be heavy like it was just before the start, or is it going to be like what we had around 11 o'clock this morning, which frankly didn't amount to very much? It rained for 30 seconds to a minute or so, and that was all. Vettel now right up onto the back of the gearbox of Lewis Hamilton. 7 laps only to go.
Well, Hamilton can't afford a precautionary stop if it does start to rain, because Glock is close enough to him to be ahead of him, and so he can't just go super cautious, and of course Glock will have to be struggling with a wet track as well. At the moment, it's nowhere near any thoughts of getting rid of those dry tyres. 7 to go.
So the pressure will begin to mount once those spots of rain start to become felt. A big call has to be made on the Ferrari timing wall, because remember, Massa has to win this race to have any chance of being the world champion, unless Hamilton finishes well outside the points. On board with Sebastian Vettel, just lifting his fingers up there, just giving them a little stretch. It's been a long race. We're an hour and 40 minutes into this Grand Prix. The tight grip on the steering wheel, the cramp in the fingers, and Vettel just preparing himself for what may be a little run at Lewis Hamilton. Look at the rain beginning to fall now. In comes Nick Heidfeld. Nothing to lose from 10th in the BMW. Nothing to lose at all. Why not? On go the wets. This is what he did in Spa in Belgium, if you recall, and picked up, I believe, a podium there as a result of it. Out he goes. Here's the scrap for second place. Fernando Alonso, 2 times world champion at the wheel of the Renault, versus the reigning world champion, Kimi Raikkonen, a Ferrari.
How much tension do you need? Those towards the back of the field are starting to pit. There it is. They're all going to have to come in for the intermediate, surely. What a difficult decision for Massa and Hamilton.
A championship hangs on it. The lap times at the moment are steady. They haven't gone off yet. They're still lapping in the high 114s as Vettel has a look at Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton defends it this time. Will he continue to defend it? Looks to me like Vettel desperately wants to get past him. We know how good he is on a damp track, and Hamilton is getting into this fight. He wants to resist Vettel. Does he need to? No. Does he want to? Yes. He's 4th. 5th would give him the title. And the rain begins to fall harder as Giancarlo Fisichella struggles for grip in front of him on the Force India. And Lewis Hamilton is walking the tightrope here at Interlagos.
Right, intermediate time. Surely it's intermediate time. Because if they go past the pits and it starts to come down too heavily, they've got, yeah, it's intermediate time is here.
The advantage for Hamilton is that Massa's ahead of him on the racetrack. That's the advantage, so he doesn't have to make the first call. It's Ferrari that will make the first call, and they do it with Raikkonen, not with Massa. Interesting. Alonso pits from 2nd. What is Hamilton going to do? Is he just going to cover Massa? I guess that's what he is going to do. No, he's coming in.
He's got to come in. There's no point taking the risk, especially now that the 2 in front of him have done that.
So does Vettel, critically.
What is Glock and co going to do? If they manage to get to the end, then without losing any pace, now Hamilton needs it to rain hard.
He certainly does. This is amazing. The final stages of this World Championship. Just 5 laps to go, and nerves are jangling. David Ryan there, the veteran team manager of McLaren. He's seen a few championship fights, but this is pure drama at Interlagos. Where is Hamilton going to rejoin? That is one of the BMWs going through. Vettel critically, who was racing in the position. And it's the back marker, Robert Kubica. Or is he still a back marker? Or has he played himself in a position by... No, he's a back marker. In comes the race leader, Felipe Massa. A lap later than Hamilton. You can see the flash bulbs going off. It's going dark here at Interlagos.
But it's got to rain hard now for these guys. Otherwise, for Hamilton, it's got to rain hard. Otherwise, Glock and Trulli and co are going to be on them.
Well, we need to find out where Hamilton rejoined. There is Massa. He had a healthy lead over the others. This has given Alonso a good chance as well by coming in that bit earlier.
Ted, what's going on down there? Is it actually raining at the moment?
Well, yes, but not very heavily. They do feel that more rain is on the way. I can see the clouds. They are very heavy, but I'm standing out very illegally because I'm not meant to be in the pit lane. But what the hell, it's our last race. And it is only a few spots of rain I can feel on my hand. It's not raining heavily enough yet.
If it doesn't rain, Hamilton's not going to get the World Championship. It's got to rain for that to happen now, because I'm sure they are. Glock's, well, Hamilton's still fifth. He's got Vettel behind him, 1.2. Actually, Glock has passed him, and he's 8.5 seconds behind Glock. They truly did not pass them and is going slower. Critically then, Hamilton's got to keep Vettel behind him now.
That is what he has to do with 4 laps only remaining in this Grand Prix. 4 laps separating him from the World Championship. Pure drama, pure agitation. Not a nail unbitten in the McLaren garage. And we're riding on board then with Hamilton. You can still see a few spots of rain falling. The lap times have gone off a little bit. Well, it's hard to tell who's not stopped. Let's have a look. Glock 1:18.8. Yes, the lap time's off by 3 or 4 seconds a lap at the moment.
And they're slower. Hamilton's slower than Glock and slower than Vettel. He's got to keep Vettel behind him, otherwise the championship's gone.
It's in Vettel's hands, maybe. Is he going to have a go at Hamilton and steal the world title away from him? Or is he going to just stay out of it and not bother? It's his decision. He's the youngest man in Formula One. He's already a winner, though, and we know he is a true racer. What will he do?
Right, it's not raining hard at the moment. Glock's still doing an 18.8, so it's not rained hard enough. I have to say, I think they all made the right decision in case it just came down heavily. But this is it then. 3 to go, and that's the man that can take the world title away from him.
And I'm told down at the back of the McLaren garage, Anthony Hamilton, Lewis's father, is just pacing around in circles like an expectant father in the waiting room of a maternity hospital. He's expectant, but not for a baby. He's expectant for a championship, and he can't stand the pressure. And I'm sure many of you at home cannot stand the pressure either. 3 to go in what has been a truly dramatic World Championship. Is Vettel going to spoil Hamilton's party?
Hamilton's got a bunch of traffic ahead of him. There is some of it. The Force India get out of the way because they're coming through. And Hamilton's gone wide.
Oh my goodness me, Vettel is now right with him. 2 to go. Hamilton has forced his way through. Here comes Kubica, and he passes. He passes Vettel. That's delayed Vettel a little bit. And Kubica is, well, it's a bit naughty.
Kubica's unlapped himself.
He's a lap down. He's unlapping himself. He would argue he's entitled to do that. Hamilton lets him through. So he's got grip, but Hamilton's lost it. Oh my goodness me! Vettel's taken the place, and that could cost Hamilton the World Championship.
Oh, it's
now raining hard, and that means Glock is going to be in trouble. He's in 4th place, and with just 2 laps to go, the question now is, can Timo Glock in the Toyota keep it on the island? If he cannot, then Hamilton might have a chance of getting the title back. At the moment, 6th will not do it for him.
Can you believe it? Right now, it's all down to whether Glock can handle the rain. And let's look at Glock's sector times. They're fine. Sector 1 is fine. Hamilton is not going to get the championship right now. If it doesn't rain harder, it's all about Glock now. Or can he get back at Vettel? And he's held up there behind the Honda.
Well, he's got nothing to lose now, Hamilton, in many ways. I mean, he'll be monitoring the Glock situation. He just doesn't seem to have any grip, even though he's got the right tyres on. Vettel is driving away from him. And we're entering the last lap shortly. Race leader Felipe Massa has just started the last lap. It's all about whether Hamilton wants it, whether he feels he can get back on the tail. The frustration must be colossal. He can see the back of that Toro Rosso. And that is the situation. Hamilton and Massa would be tied on points, but by virtue of the extra win for Massa, it would give the Brazilian driver the World Championship, and only 1 lap remains. Glock's sector times are perfectly healthy on the dry tyre. He's doing fine, and the championship is slipping away from Lewis Hamilton.
Right, Glock's done a 1:28, but he's 15 seconds clear of them. So Glock can tiptoe around the last lap and get the job done. Hamilton then has got to have a major attack on Vettel. Has he got the pace to do that?
And of course Vettel is powered by the Ferrari engine, so he is highly motivated. You can see that the back of Vettel's car swirling away. Hamilton just doesn't seem to have the pace when it matters. He needs 5th or better to win the World Championship. He is currently 6th, and he runs one up late on the braking. He just needs now some luck to intervene. I said at the beginning it would come down to luck, and that's exactly what's happened. He had it all under control in the dry conditions, and in these conditions it's all about these last few corners now. We're expecting Massa any time now. He comes through to claim his 6th victory of the season. He has done everything he needed to do, and we wait now to find out who will be the world champion of 2008. Can Hamilton do anything? Can he run it up the inside of Vettel? Only a few corners to go now, and desperation starts to creep in for Lewis Hamilton.
Raikkonen's 3rd, and is that Glock? Is that Glock going slowly?
It is, it's Glock! Oh my goodness me! Hamilton's back in position again. 100,000 local hearts sink in the grandstands. It's handed the place back to Hamilton. He comes through, and if I'm absolutely right, I'm sure that he is going to claim 5th place, which is all he needs to do to become the 2008 Formula One World Champion, Lewis Hamilton. And you will... Well, the Ferrari boys are celebrating.
They both think they won, but Ferrari
are wrong. They're absolutely wrong. Hamilton's finished 5th, and Lewis, the father, has just realised that he celebrated a little bit too early. And Nicole Scherzinger, the girlfriend of Lewis Hamilton, hugs Aki Hintsa, his head doctor. You will never see a more dramatic conclusion to any motor race, let alone a Grand Prix, than that. And the result of it all is that in the most harem-squarum way possible, he doesn't make it easy for himself, does he? Lewis Hamilton is the world champion.
Unbelievable. I mean, to be fair, the kid did absolutely everything right, and they couldn't take a gamble on that rain, as nor did Massa and Alonso and Raikkonen. But Glock, and Louise has found Anthony Hamilton.
Anthony, it's the moment you've been dreaming of for so many years. Anthony, just put into words your emotions right now.
What can I say? I can't say anything. Oh.
Just tell us about the tension of those final few laps, Anthony.
I really can't find any words. Great, absolutely great, absolutely great, absolutely great. And that's a shame that the crowd's doing this. They should be fair sports people. But anyway, we've got the championship. On to the next one.
Fantastic, well done. Thanks, Anthony.
Not only is he the world champion, he's the youngest ever Formula One world champion, the first from Britain since Damon Hill back in 1996. And what a race. I mean, we've done 206 Grand Prix as ITV. We've done some exciting ones together, you and I, over the years. I hope we'll have a chance to work together again, but I don't think you and I will ever experience anything quite as dramatic as that.
It looked like it had gone, didn't it? Unbelievable. Glock's last lap, a 1:44.7. Either he just fell off the cliff with grip from those dry tyres, just a bit too much rain, or it'd be interesting to see if he was asked to slow down or whatever it is. It was just enough for Hamilton. He beat Glock over the line by 5.4 seconds. That's all it was. And yeah, Glock lost 18 seconds on the last lap, and Massa's team thought they'd got it.
Thank you again, guys. Thank you. I'm so proud to race for this team. Thank you.
Oh dear. He's crying. He's proud to drive for the team, and I'm sure they're very proud of him. He's driven impeccably, not just here this weekend, but pretty much all season. Only that little poor race at Silverstone, the blot on his copybook. But apart from that, it's been an outstanding year for Felipe Massa. Also for this man, Fernando Alonso, who finishes 2nd. And a tremendous finish to the season for him. But here is Lewis Hamilton. He joins Mike Hawthorne, Graham Hill, Jim Clark, John Surtees, Jackie Stewart, James Hunt, Nigel Mansell and Damon Hill as the 9th British driver to win the Formula One World Championship. And here is a devastated Felipe Massa. What can you say?
I wonder if they'd already told him that he virtually got it, because the Ferrari team didn't seem to be watching Glock, did they? Unbelievable. So Massa wins the Grand Prix. We've got the world champion will not be on the podium, will not be in the press conferences.
But and we can be sure that one of our guys will get him as soon as he gets out of the car. You will hear from him. Well, a very dignified, very, very dignified performance. by an utterly devastated Felipe Massa.
He'll not believe it when he watches the action and understand just how close he came to being the world champion.
A car park of some of the world's most expensive vehicles. One of them is on fire. I think it's the Honda. Look at that. Could do with a fire extinguisher quickly. There, amongst the smoke. He's been in a war. He must feel like that. Is Lewis Hamilton, who finally ends a dominant season in style. The crowd doesn't like it, but that is sport. And frankly, that's sport at its very, very best.
Well, he's a worthy world champion. He's been a contender since the first lap of his first ever Grand Prix early last year. And I don't think you can deny Lewis Hamilton the title of world champion.
He's got to put the steering wheel back. So just one of those little formalities, like in golf, you've got to get your scorecard right, otherwise you get disqualified. On goes the steering wheel, and Hamilton has, well, frankly, he's laid to rest the ghosts of 2007, where he lost the World Championship. He came to this bear pit in Sao Paulo. Look at the passion and the intensity of the feeling. He's put up with all the responses of the crowd and all their attempts to intimidate him, and has scored, frankly, an emphatic away win.
I'm going to steal 3 seconds here to say thank you to every single person who's worked on F1 ITV in the last 12 years. You're tops, dedicated people, really creative. Well done, everybody, and well done, Lewis Hamilton.
The pictures say it all in the most dramatic circumstances possible. With 2 laps to go, he was in trouble when Vettel passed him. And there is his brother Nicholas waiting to embrace him. McLaren's first Drivers' World Championship for 9 years. And a Brazilian radio reporter finds himself right in the middle of it all. What an extraordinary way to clinch a championship.